Guys, we have a guide on prophecy for those that actually need a refresh on this. But before we get into that guide, though, I'm going to go over each one of these roles. The way things are split up, the first encounter, the Phalanx Echo, will be dropping the Relentless Pulse Rifle, which is now a strand weapon, and the Prosecutor Auto Rifle. The second encounter, the Cube, will be dropping a Sudden Death Shotgun and the Adjudicator. And the third encounter, the final encounter, the Kale, will be dropping the Judgment Hand Cannon, which is now a stasis weapon, and the Darkest Before Pulse Rifle, which is a solo weapon. We're going to go over these roles real quick, though, just to kind of give you a brief overlook of what we're looking at here. Then we'll have a timestamp in this video of where to go if you're looking to just get the guide portion of Prophecy Dungeon. All right, on Relentless here. Again, a high-impact weapon, Desperado. Holy shit. We've got Desperado, we've got Slice, we've got Rapid Hits. So my PV roll is going to be Slice Hatchling. And then Slideways is present here, not Slide Shots. I don't know, maybe I just go pretty basic, like Head Seeker, Keep Away. Keep in mind, guys, I'm a huge fan of Phylotatic Spiral. I think it's one of the best high impacts in the game. But Relentless is one of the best feeling high impact pulse rifles I have ever used. So you're going to want to get it. I think the god roll for me is going to be Head Seeker, Keep Away. If not that, maybe Head Seeker, Rapid Hits. Probably throw on something like Arrowhead Break to kind of bring our recoil direction up there to 95 and play off of that. Again, Crossing Over is that new origin trait. It says the weapon has increased range and handling for the top half of the magazine, while rounds from the bottom half of the magazine deal increased damage. So good stuff. All around good stuff. Desperado's intriguing on it. Zen Moments there. I think a lot of solid rolls here you can go with. Next weapon, since we're still on the first encounter, let's look up Prosecutor. All right, Prosecutor. This is a 450. This is a precision frame, same origin trait, target lock. Now, I know target lock just got a nerf, but that's for SMGs. On everything else, though, it's still usable inside of PvP. And even on a 450, we may be able to make a play with it. I'm torn, man. Noja, what would you use on Prosecutor? Keep Away or Zen Moments? Because they're both in the same column.
That's kind of brutal.
Keep Away gives you the range bump.
It does. It does.
But Zen Moment is so good.
Was it a 450?
It is a 450, so it's pretty manageable on its own. But I would imagine with Zen Moment, though, it would just lock everything down.
I'm a big fan of Zen Moment. I like anything that gives me anti-flinch benefits as well.
Yeah. Chad, I think you can't go wrong with Keep Away, Target Lock, or Zen Moment, Target Lock. And hell, guys, if Target Lock is really not the play here, we're going to be testing things in the new environment, new health pools. If that's not the play, then Tap the Trigger is still really, really good. You know, you combine Tap the Trigger with Keep Away or Zen Moment, either one of those trait combinations with the origin trait, which is already increasing range. We do have to wonder if Crossing Over can go beyond the cap. I'm assuming that it can. So if we start looking at rolls, like for instance, if I had Hammer Forge, Ricochet rounds, we're already at 75 range. Keep Away there, which gives us plus 10 there in range. I mean, what are we looking at here? Is Crossing Over bumping into that cap? I don't think it would. I actually think you can get away with it. A lot of good stuff here. For my PV players, you've got Volt Shot and Dragonfly. That's solid. It's like reminding me of like Tyranny of Heaven with its Dragonfly incandescent roll. Is this going to be better than Amit's? Guys, these were all Trials of the 9 weapons. They were designed intentionally for PvP. Not that you can use them inside of PvE, but they were designed with that intention. So these weapons have always been some of the most consistent weapons inside of PvP. They just, you know, haven't had necessarily the best rolls or static rolls and were locked in year one. With them having these rolls, I would argue and say, yeah, it will compete against Amit. And in some cases, some of these weapons will outcompete its competitors. All right, so Sudden Death here, guys. It's now a Void aggressive frame. It's got Barrel Constrictor, which just got a buff. And you've got Crossing Over, which is, again, a huge reason why people use Opening Shot is because of the increase in range. But what's so crazy is you could do Opening Shot, Crossing Over together. You've got 2 perks on the opening shot of your attack. Hold on. But here's the problem. Crossing Over only increases range on the top half of your magazine. And inside of Crucible, oh my God, that's even worse. It's going to be dealing increased damage because it's going to be in the bottom half of the magazine. Holy shit. So you're going to have Crossing Over, Opening Shot. You could do a Crossing Over, Opening Shot, Slide Shot combo. Holy shit.
It's got Threat Detector too.
Oh my God. Dude, you could do this. Yeah, Sudden Death has got some, it's got some nasty for PvP, fellas. This may have just become the best shotgun in the game. You're going to be doing, depending on how much damage Crossing Over gives us out of that bottom half, we'll just have to see how that plays out. But this could be the play. Now, other things for my PvE players, you got Envy's Assassin and Destabilizing Round. Discord, though, and Destabilizing rounds, or even Repulsor. If you're looking to lean into that. You know, you also got Cascade Point, Trench Barrel, which now works with all melees, all ranged melees, by the way. There's a lot of plays you can make with a shotgun. And again, with it being this frame, it shoots faster after getting killed. So that's part of that aggressive frame there. It increases the rate of fire. So you could stack that on with Cascade points. Good God. I don't know why you, I mean, maybe you could do like Cascade point Discord and just blow your load everywhere. Once you get a kill going, just ta-ta-ta. Next weapon on the list, we have the Adjudicator. This is a precision frame SMG. Target lock is not going to be the play. For my PvE players, I'm already seeing kinetic trimmers and subsistence, which would be solid, or even kinetic trimmers, feeding frenzy, or even threat detector if you like. But this is a first. We have onslaughts on an SMG. That is wild. I am thinking onslaught, dynamic sway reduction, accurized rounds, and then maybe just hammer forge, dude. Throw on a ranged masterwork, crank them numbers up. You've got crossing over here as well.
Small bore.
Oh man, you like small bore more?
Small bore's the best barrel in the game.
I can live with that. But I'm on master keyboard.
So am I.
Are you really? I
play both.
Oh, okay. I thought you were on controller. Guys, this is going to be the way to go, man. Onslaught, once you get it procced with dynamic sway, you know, you're going to have dynamic sway procking even faster because of the increase in rate of fire here with this trait. I think that's going to be disgusting. Could you go at fragile focus roll? I know a lot of people are going after that on unending tempest. You could, but this is the route I would go here. Kinetic trimmers, frenzy. You know, this is a kinetic weapon. You can utilize this inside of PvE with any of these other perks and you'll do just fine. That's again for the second encounter. All right, for the third and final encounter, we have Judgment. Dude, Bungie is balling out with the rolls right now. All right, for Judgment, it is now a stasis weapon. We have Headstone in the third column. Time payload also present there. Vorpal also present there. For my PvP players, you know, you've got Eye of the Storm, moving targets. This is slide shot as well. You can proc with it. Even for PvP, I would probably do like time payload, moving targets, accurized rounds. Again, we got the sights right here instead. True Sight was always one of my favorites, but Hit Mark is also really, really good. So you get the +5 in range and +5 aim assist, and then you've got crossing over. That would actually be the combo I would go for. And if I didn't want to use moving target, I guess I can go slide shot if I want. That's going to be really, really solid. Now, once we get in there and start testing payload perks and see how bad they've been nerfed, may want to do opening shot instead, you know. And if we don't want opening shot, maybe Eye of the Storm. Just got to just see. I don't know where payload is sitting now after the changes. But for my PvE players, yeah, Vorpal, do like a tag mag or even a pendant, but like Headstone, Vorpal, Headstone, time payload, which is really good even inside of PvE, man. All right, next weapon, and this is the final weapon here that's going to be dropping from Prophecy. We have the Darkest Before. It is now a solar rapid fire frame, and looky here, we've got incandescent present. Very nice. You can do incandescent heal clip, which heal clip just got a buff, and I highly recommend using it, guys. I don't know if people are crazy again about pulse rifles and PvE, but they did get a buff at the beginning of Season of the Wish. They are doing more damage, but you can utilize this combination here. You've also got, you know, Deconstruct, which Bungie has plenty of notes talking about their changes to Deconstruct. Now, for my PvP players, I mean, maybe Elemental Capacitor. Like, I want to go a Head Seeker roll, but there's really nothing in this third column that's shouting to me inside of PvP. Noja, what do you think? I mean, you could go Elemental Capacitor, I suppose, chat.
That's kind of your only play.
Part of me wants to try Heal Clip even inside of PvP, but there's so much competition. Oversoul Edict is one of my favorite PvP rapid fire pulse rifles. It's really hard to beat that one. And there's a number of other ones too. So the competition is extremely stiff. Seems like Bungie was trying to gauge this more for more for PvE. Yeah, I think an incandescent heal clip roll would be really, really nice for my PvE players.
We have too many craftable 540s that are top tier for PvP to justify farming that for PvP.
Sure. Which is why I think I'm going to lean more toward PvE for this one and just see how it plays out. Yeah, heal clip is good now, guys. Get cure ×2 on self. Cure ×1 to your teammates. I think you'll be set with this combo. And if you didn't want to go the incandescent route, you could do Kill Club. And that way you're proccing a 25% buff there in damage and you're proccing cure. So guys, those are all random rolls. Oh, grab Mars quest. Okay, hold on. We got to go get the Riven's Wish. So this actually overlaps this week, guys, for the Prophecy Dungeon. I'm glad to see her this morning, so rejuvenated as of late. It was through her that I learned of the Drifter's communication with the 9 portents and fictions alike. For this next challenge, you must survive a prophecy of light and dark. Riven must have thought it relevant. Walk with caution within the realms of the 9. They are too vast for simple allegiances. All right, here we go, guys. So overlap here. Make sure before you go to farm prophecy and all these new roles that are popping this week, pick this up. You'll get this wish here, this token, which by the way, you could turn in even my free-to-play players for weapon rolls. Bungie just fixed that as well. And that way you can get 2 in 1 done. with a single run. All right, guys, time for a bit of a refresher as well as our farm guide. Now I'm gonna run through some things you probably already still remember, but just in case you don't, or if you're a new player, let's start from the very beginning of this dungeon. There are two ways to get through this entrance: the legit way or the cheesy way. The cheesy way is literally you putting on a sword, go right up this tube here to the left, and just sword your way all the way to the top. And if you get to the top and you're struggling, you can also just grapple right over that edge, and there you go, fellas. You are now at the first boss. Now, if you don't want to go to the cheese route, or if you're struggling with that, don't worry. This is a great opportunity for you to just refresh the mechanics of this dungeon. This will be the same exact mechanic throughout the entire Prophecy dungeon, and it starts by cleansing those pools. There's a light pool and a dark pool, and you'll need to collect 5 motes of the same color. These taken knights will drop these motes, 3 of them at a time, and the color of the motes change depending on whether or not you killed them when you were standing in light or standing in dark. Collect 5 for each, go over to the plate to interact, which for me is literally just pressing my trigger, but it may be different for you depending on your input, and you'll do this animation, which would then cleanse that pool. Do that for those 2 doors, and you'll make your way to the first encounter. Now, to complete the first encounter, you'll have to defeat the Phalanx Echo. Now, one of the beautiful things about this dungeon is that it's completely doable solo. Not that you can't solo other dungeons, but I would say Prophecy is by far the easiest. Now, the goal to take on the Phalanx Echo is simple. Remove the boss shield and then kill it. To do this, you need to cleanse 4 pools, 2 light and 2 dark. And again, the same mechanic that you did earlier, kill the knights standing in either the light or the dark to drop the associated motes. Now, once you've cleansed that 4th and final pool, the boss's shield will drop for about 30 seconds. Now, there's a variety of ways you could kill this guy. We used to use swords back in the day. I'm literally just using 1-2 punch, which I know 1-2 punch just got nerfed, so it's gonna be 1-1 punch. This is some pre-gameplay, but you can utilize things like Dragon's Breath, Celestial Nighthawk, Well of Radiance, and Sword Still if you wish. And considering the close proximity of this boss, Acreus is really good. Land that melee proc Trench Barrel, which by the way just got a buff because it's working with all melees, even your ranged ones, and you'll cook this boss no problem. Now, something to keep in mind if you're trying to speed up the mechanic here, if you jump in the air between each pool, you can actually cleanse 2 at the same time by just being present in between 2 different pools. So if it's 2 lights, jump in between them, cleanse, and you'll hit both of them, which means you really only have to kill knights and collect motes for 2 sets of pools rather than 4. So it's an easy way to speed things up, guys, and make this farm go faster. Now, with all these encounters, if you're looking to hard farm, always save your checkpoints. Phalanx Echo is going to be one that many people are going to farm, considering it drops the Relentless Pulse Rifle and the Prosecutor Auto Rifle. So save those checkpoints, trade it off, throw on something like Merciless or Legend of Acreus or Swords, and get to farm. By the way, if you're looking for a team to farm with, we have a Discord with an LFG. Feel free to come by. Now, the next source of loot is actually this Traversal section. To unlock the next encounter, you just need to clear every blind that spawns. But within this area, there's also going to be a hidden chest. You want to look for this structure with the yellow sand in front of it. You'll then slip through this small crevice to get to that first secret chest. There's actually 2 in this dungeon. We'll talk about the second one in just a moment. Now, I do need to point out that this chest is once per week per character and should only drop weapons and armor you've already gotten. So this is not a chest you're going to be able to get new loot out of. So something to keep in mind if you're trying to like specifically farm for something. But again, if you're trying to specifically farm for something, just kill the bosses. This is just an additional way to add some extra loot. Now, the topic of these blights, as you clear them out, make sure you shoot them out, and then you'll see Tolan right there in the middle. Interact with Tolan, and that will take you to the next set of blights, guys. Keep doing that, and it will lead you to the second encounter. Now, the second encounter is where you're going to be able to farm the SMG and the shotgun. This encounter is very straightforward. You will be cleansing whichever pool Tolan is standing on, or more specifically, the pool Tolan is standing above. Essentially, just look where he's at, and if he's standing above light, then you need to collect light and then interact with that pool. Now, this is a mechanic that does not involve any DPS to bosses, which is why a heavy machine gun makes this so much better. But you'll interact with those pools and then run to the middle, and you'll be lifted up and teleported to the next room. And you do this over and over until you reach this final room here. This final room will contain 2 yellow bars. They are very easy to kill. Don't stress, guys. You'll be able to chew them down no problem. Literally just use your super and you'll shred them both. And that's the second encounter. Now, after looting these chests, you can then jump up and proceed to head forward all the way across the sands until you reach that Rainbow Road section. Now, listen, I'm using this janked up Sparrow, but as you know, skimmers are now in the game, and I cannot wait to see this with skimmers. Now, in this area, you will also have a second hidden chest. It will be all the way at the bottom, guys. And I normally like to just go left. Again, if you're rocking things like Strand with some grapples, this makes this stupid easy, especially for my hunters. If you're rocking Silk Strike, literally just pop your super and grapple all the way across if you want. But if you see over here at the bottom left, there's this diamond structure. You'll head on in, and then you'll jump down to the hole here, and then you'll keep going and then jump across. Upon jumping across, you'll be met with the second and last hidden chest. Head on back out, guys, and then proceed to make your way to that little area down below, which will then push you into the final encounter. Now, of course, this encounter drops the Darkest Before, now a solar weapon, and the Judgment Hand Cannon, now a stasis weapon. Now, fret not about this encounter. You can easily get the one phase off with the right setup. To defeat the boss, you'll need to cleanse a pool at each corner of this room. It's 3 in total. And it's the same thing, guys. It's a light pool. Make sure you kill the Taken Knights while you yourself stand in the light, and the same in the dark. Now, after cleansing each one of these pools, a big ogre will spawn that you'll need to chew down. Don't worry, guys. Nothing here is super difficult, especially if you got a team with you. Cleanse those 3 pools, kill those ogres, and then proceed to head to the middle area where you're going to be teleported down. In this area, you'll see the boss in front of you standing on these platforms, and he'll be throwing these Taken attacks at you, which can actually throw you back and teleport you to the back of this room. And the reason why he does that is because you will be accumulating these stacks of this debuff that will instantly kill you. So you got to stay somewhat close to him. You can actually see the aura around this boss. But again, watch out for his attacks because he will teleport you away. Now, guys, there is a variety of ways to get the one face here. If you're rocking Lucky Pants and Malfeasance, he's a Taken enemy and you could shred him very fast. You can also use rocket launchers, Dragon's Breath, now even legendaries with Galahorn. By all means, go right ahead. Personally, I love Leviathan's Breath. Leviathan's Breath is super easy here. He's got a big crit spot with that big old head. I'm constantly proccing the Exotic Catalyst. I throw on 3 Void Surge mods and we do a tremendous amount of damage. But if you're rocking things like Celestial Nighthawk, by the way, Kinetic Surge is no longer buff. Keep that in mind. And then want to do a swap off for, say, Lucky Pants and Malfeasance, you can definitely do that. Personally, guys, I just did a run with Leviathan's Breath and I did plenty of damage. We killed him before even getting halfway down the room. And the beautiful thing here is that even if he's teleporting away, Leviathan's Breath is still snagging those shots. So guys, that is your refresh guide for the Prophecy Dungeon. Again, if you're looking for a crew to play with, feel free to come by our Discord. We're actually going to be farming it live over on our Twitch. We'll be pulling viewers from stream. If you would like to join us, we'll be running through and just grabbing some kills here and there. This perk refresh for these Prophecy weapons are by far the most exciting thing with update 7.3.5. So come join us. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.